Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Hug Nation's Love Morning. It is a beautiful Sunday here. And for me, beautiful means overcast and cool. I'm actually wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing a hat. I like this kind of weather. I just put up on the screen. Look at this. The video, a little 30-second thing I said where I'm not going to Burning Man because I'm in love. And that's my new theme camp is Lovebird Landing, our home. It's got like 376,000 views in the last 48 hours. That's a lot for me. And I love that the content is me declaring my love for Lisa. Yeah. Oh. Did I think maybe by putting that picture it would excuse me from singing a song? No, I sure did not. If you've got gratitude, I've got a lot. We're gonna sing or we're gonna talk. You can run to get close or you can walk. As long as we share the good, we'll be okay in this hood. It's Love Morning. Lisa is doing a, oh my goodness. I just realized that my phone is dictating everything that I just said. Good morning, high noon. Happy Sunday to you. Lisa is also on a Zoom in her office downstairs, so I told her I would not sing super loud today. So if you were thinking to yourself, man, John, you kind of held back with that song, there was a reason. How are you today? What are you grateful for? I'm filled with gratitude. I had dinner last night with my San Diego family, my biological family. My mom and my dad and my brother, my sister-in-law, my two nephews, and Lisa. We were celebrating my nephew Caleb's birthday. He is home from school from his first year in college. He's a young man. And it's so fun to talk to him and Carter, my other nephew, and just like they're young men. It's amazing how many of my memories are, when they were just adorable little things, and now they're adorable big people. So I was grateful for that time. I'm grateful for our family dynamic. On our drive home, Lisa pointed out, imagine what it would be like if our families weren't humorous and weren't laughers. Some people aren't big laughers. Like everyone in my family, she said, everyone in your family is a full-throated laugher. And, a big part of our gatherings and conversations is we joke and we make, we retell stories and make each other bust up, and it's fun. I love being around people I love and laughing. And so I'm so grateful for the sense of humor in my family. So grateful that we're all pretty free with our laughter and very clever. There's a lot of cleverness. I'm very blessed that my upbringing was so humor forward, as my brother likes to say. Thank you, High Noon. High Noon says, I'm grateful for a deep, restful sleep. One of those fundamental things. Amen. I'm also grateful. I just I put a picture up of a screenshot from my Instagram. I'm grateful for my video going viral. 300 and, wait, is that right? 280, 300? I think 300 something thousand people watched this little video declaration of I'm not going to Burning Man and I am in love and I'm engaged. And, you know, if I, the video that I've made that is the most viral thing I've ever done is a clip from a movie called Humans, where I was interviewed and I talked about my grandfather and I told the story of A Beautiful Glass. And that clip has been viewed like hundreds of millions of times. And I often reflect on that as it comes up in Facebook memories or people repost it. I'm like, if I could pick one story and tell the world, it would be about my grandpa. And if I could tell a second story, it would probably be something about how in love I am with Lisa. So the fact that that went viral is, I'm just thrilled. You know, there's a lot of videos that, like I made one a few days ago about eating too many M&Ms. That would have been cool if it went viral, but this is so much better. I did another one that went viral a couple years ago where I talked about being weird, and that I love that went viral too. That one I said something like, when people tell me, "Oh my God, you're so weird," I say, "Thanks for noticing. I work so hard at it." Good morning, Steve. Good morning. And good morning, Mingle. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you for all you are and do and share and serve. I love you, Mingle. I am grateful for this mentality of thinking about our home, Lisa and I's home, as our theme camp this year. If you're not a Burning Man person, Pink Heart was the theme camp that I helped start and put a lot of energy into improving it and fixing it and how can it be better and how can we use it to gift more. And I've been this home is what I've been focused on. I spent a bunch of time last few days cleaning up this outside area where I have all these potted plants and repotted and shifted things around and cleaned it up. And in case our home has a name, it's Lovebird Landing. We even have a logo. Good morning, Hope. Good morning. And good morning, Paul. Anybody have something that they are feeling grateful for that they would like to share? I sure love hearing what other people are grateful for. Thank you. High Noon says, hello, Facebook folks. Sending y'all love. High Noon is watching from YouTube. So the way I do these morning broadcasts is I send it to both YouTube and to Facebook. So you might hear me say hello to somebody, which is sometimes why I try to put people's names on the screen so you can see the other people that are here that you might not be seeing. Good morning, everyone. I'm also grateful for Betsy, my co-host for Stay Sparked. I feel really blessed that we've been friends for so long and that we decided to do this podcast together. And we decided to do it with Janus, our dear friend. And Janus passed earlier this year. I've really been feeling him deeply this week. I actually got to see his son this weekend. I went to a barbecue yesterday, so I'm grateful for the barbecue. Oh man, so much in that. Well, first I'll finish with Betsy and Janus. I'm grateful for them and the project of Stay Sparked and that we're continuing to do it. And we talk about Janus together before we record. And I really like the episode we just put live that we recorded this week. It's about anger. And I just think it's such a rich, fertile ground for growth for many people. You may be someone who has a healthy relationship with anger, and maybe you can express it and are skillful. I am not, and most people I know were never role modeled how to express and feel anger in ways that were healthy. And so I really liked the conversation about both of us acknowledging ways that we've been unskilled in the past and some of the ways that we have shifted our beliefs about anger so that we can integrate it more. I used to feel like anger was evidence of not being evolved. And because of that, I suppressed it. But if I ever got to a point where I was upset enough that it came out, like I would say to a partner, like, this race car's getting in the red. Like, we need to take a pause in this conversation. And if they just said, well, don't you walk away from me? Then I would drop into, or something would come out, and then this anger would be in full control and the anger would then spill into violence. Not violence against a person. I've never hit anyone in violence, but I have yelled and said things that were said with the intention of hurting that person. Saying mean things that I didn't even believe to be true, but I knew would hurt them or shut them up, or, and I have definitely in the past punched doors, walls, paintings, destroyed property, and hurt my hands, because when the anger pushed past my control, it then took a form that was not good. So I've had to really shift my whole view and recognize that no, anger is not wrong or bad. It's real, and you need to accept, channel it, express it in healthy ways. But that's I'm working on it. Anyway, I'm grateful for Betsy and for the recording we did. And I mean, even the process of having the conversations with Betsy are helpful for me. That's why we started the podcast. We were having these great conversations. I'm like, man, we should record these. So if you're more curious about anger, check out Stay Sparked. It's on YouTube. You can watch us talk about it on the Stay Sparked channel, or you can look up Stay Sparked on your podcasting app. Hope says, I've been off on a TikTok journey. Grateful for a new friend in San Diego teaching me the TikTok tips. Oh, I want to know the TikTok tips. I just started using it. I'm so excited to hear or learn. High Noon says, I'm grateful for the times I had in the champagne powder of the Wasatch Mountains and sharing it with such beautiful folks. Beautiful. Thank you. Mingle says, I'm grateful for my daughter and an awesome birthday party she did last night. She wanted everyone to do PowerPoints, and everyone really got into it. It was hilarious. Topics range from Dungeons and Dragons to Greek mythology to random facts. Eating lots of pizza and hysterical laughter, birthday party success. That's awesome. So people made them while they're there. You made it proud. Oh, that's so cool. I can't remember if I told you, but no. When I was on vacation with Lisa's family, Kate, her sister-in-law, and we created a fake company, and then I made a PowerPoint presentation, a pitch deck for this company, Smosts, which is a s'mores competitor. And fake PowerPoints are fun. High Noon says, that's an important topic. I just finished the episode this morning. Oh, lovely, thank you. Good morning, Simon. I got this on Amazon. I bought a number of lightweight beanies because I know my hair and I have goals of growing my hair out, and I know that I'm going to have probably a year of a little bit of a personality on top of my head. And there are times when this is a lot. I mean, I actually kind of love it, but it's a lot. And also, it's very susceptible to bedhead. Like if I turned around, it's not quite as impressive. So but I can't wear a beanie in the summertime, so I got some lightweight. So this is like a t-shirt material light beanie. If you really want to know, if you send me a message, I can find the link. Old Soul Hope is your TikTok. I think I'm Hug Nation on TikTok. Yeah, I'm going. I mean, I'm grateful for. I think he'd be okay with me sharing this. So I sometimes mention my friend and mentor Ishmael, who I co-lead men's groups with, and I love him so much, and he's the one who inspired me to grow a beard, because he's got an awesome beard and long hair, and so I sent him a voice message yesterday, like asking him personal stuff, and then I was like, and by the way, hey, how do you deal with your beard? Like, do you trim it? Do you use product? Like, I'm now at a point where I could use a beard mentor, and he gave me a long explanation of philosophies and his feeling, which is really, I'm chewing on it, which is that he does as minimal grooming on it as possible. Like he trims around his mouth for eating purposes, and he does a little bit of trimming around his ears and a little on his neck, but basically he wants it to be as wild as possible. He wants it to be an expression of natural. And I kind of like that idea of accepting, that there's a wildness. And I mean, that being said, this is something. High Noon says, I love the hair. Thank you. It's gonna be, I do too. I'm really enjoying it. High Noon says, because you're being you and trying something new, something authentic. I admire about you, brother. So that reminds me, I made a video, a request or an ask online, and I tried on them different outfits, and I was saying, like, anyone have any feedback on what do you think I should wear for these videos I'm going to do? And one of the things that I did is, like, because I'm going to be filming over many days, and I might like record one lesson and then weeks later say, oh, I need to change some text in there. And I want to be able to look consistent. So like, this hair is not the same every day. So maybe, and it's harder against green screen hair. So it might be a smart idea to just make this be the look that I have in all of the broadcasts. But one person said, he goes, you don't have a consistent look. You should embrace that. You should have all different looks. And I was like, I kind of like that. And maybe even like in the intro, I do like these flashes of me looking a bunch of different ways as like a little, hey, this is the avatar I'm in right now, but don't get attached to this avatar. Good morning, Terry. Terry says, I'm grateful for the finding of your how to decorate your Burning Man bike in 2008. I'm so glad. That's another thing that I'm continuing to have so many delightful reconnections because the video that I made about Burning Man went viral, and getting messages like what you just shared, Terry, or someone who's never contacted me reached out and says, hey, I've been going to Burning Man 10 years, and before my first year, I watched all your videos, and you totally prepared me and got me in the right mindset. And I love that. I love that I help people to fur a bike, But I also love that part of what I was trying to share was a mindset, a neighborly, love ambassadory, welcoming mindset, which is not inherent in Burning Man. Burning Man has a real aggressive, fuck your burn, anarchist vibe as well. And I feel like a lot of people showed up being affected and touched and infected by the humor and whimsy and love that I was trying to share. So it's been feeling really cool to hear back from people years later that, yeah, it worked. And one of my favorite things, I may have said this yesterday, so my apologies if I'm telling it again, but I got a message from a woman, I believe her name was Celia, and it said, years ago, I gifted you this water bottle holder that was made out of old ties. And actually, it was ties on the side, and the front and the back were kind of like a fake silver leather. And it fit my water bottle perfectly. I could put it on a belt and have my water bottle with me so I could have my hands free and I could grab into it, and it had a magnet closing so you didn't take two hands. It was so awesome. And it was literally part of my uniform. I had black and white striped pants, a vest, cut off shirt that I made, often a captain's hat, and that belt, about a pouch that held DVDs that I would give away on the belt, and another water bottle holder that she gave me. And I wore it every single day of every burn, every night of every burn, every event that I went to, every regional. That was my go-to. Now I'm ready to go out, and I know that I've got what I need with me. I loved it. And eventually it fell apart, and I tried to have another one made that was never as good. But I had forgotten who gave it to me. And so to have this email come in, or this message comment, because she saw the video that went viral, I was like, I exploded in like, and I got to tell her how much the gift had meant to me, how much joy it had given me. And it felt so good. It felt so good to have these years of gratitude about an object get to be gifted to the person who created it and brought all of it into my life. Is awesome. So grateful for the magical ways that things like that happen. Hope says, I think a lot of people are shocked by the fuck your burn culture. I know I was. You certainly see that on the message boards when people are like, whoa, I thought this, well, actually the fuck your burn culture does make it into the online a lot. Yeah, I mean, the thing about freedom is that it includes light and dark. Luann says, grateful that I got to sleep in today. Hasn't happened in a long time. And that my tomato garden is starting to look like a rainbow of ripening joy. Happy Sunday. A rainbow of ripening joy. Oh, I like that. Beautiful. Our tomato plant, the minute it grows a leaf, it gets eaten by squirrels. So it's getting trounced. I don't think we're going to have any produce until maybe next year. We'll build something with chicken wire around it or something. But not this year. My other plants are doing great. Like this one here, this philodendron of some sort, it's now grown past the screen. Look at that. I don't want to tell the other plants, but right now, she's my favorite. Don't tell the other ones. Oh, who am I kidding? I can't pick a favorite. Global says, grateful for language that communicates experiences, ideas, and feelings. And as I read that, I also have a part of me that feels compelled to say, and the recognition that all language is an abstraction and all words are heard differently by every ear. As I say, I love something, I have a lifetime of experiences and interpretations of what that means, and you have a different one. And so language helps us to get close, but we never fully understand another person. The other thing that Lisa and I, talked about early in our relationship, I think we all want to be known and understood. And I was like, I don't think that, we can try, but the level of self-awareness that I have, of the depth of my experience, is so vast compared to what I can interpret or hear or understand or picture or be empathetic about in another. So attempting to understand, listening, trying to do our best, that's what we should do. But if we have to accept that even a person that is dedicating all their attention and love and everything to you still doesn't know what it is to be you. Global says, is language the cause of disharmony? Oh, what a question. The first thing that prompts me to speak to is, when my prized possessions is a book that my grandfather gave me called All Religions Are True by Gandhi. Out of print, never published in the US. He got it during travels, and the premise of this small book by Gandhi, as he's talking to different religious leaders, is that divine experiences happen to human beings. Human beings have connections to the divine. They have experiences of the spiritual, whatever. They're unexplainable. And the minute that prophet tries to articulate that process of them using language and articulating it has now gone filtered through their human experiences, their culture, their biases, all of it. So the moment they say what experience, what they have, what the insight is, it's corrupted. And so we have all these people trying to say what is true, and it is true for them because of their experiences. So all religions are true for the person whose experiences align with that articulation of that truth, which inspired one of my lessons or lectures about Iron Chef spirituality. You might be too young to know this show. There's a show called Iron Chef where they would bring in these master chefs and they would give them a secret ingredient. And then they had to turn that secret ingredient into something. Like, today the ingredient is octopus. And so one person would turn the octopus into like octopus ice cream. And somebody would make, we're going to get octopus pizza. And it was like, who could use their skills to turn this wild card ingredient into something wonderful and delicious. And that's the state of world religions. The chefs are these prophets, these wise leaders, and the secret ingredient is divinity, God, the infinite. And they are given this unexplainable thing, and they prepare it in a way that is accustomed to their tradition. So the guy from the person from Thailand takes this divinity and they start mixing it with chili spices and they make a curry out of it. And the person from the south of the US makes it into some mayonnaise-based casserole. And so, and then we're all holding our dishes and their followers are going, this curry is best. No, this saffron dish is the best. No, this is the best. No, we're right, you're wrong. We're right, you're wrong. But the secret ingredient is the same. It's just been prepared, interpreted, distorted through different cultures and viewpoints. So, yeah, I guess in some ways, language is the cause of all conflict. Or language is the cause, in some ways, language is the cause of disharmony. Luckily, it's also the solution. We have pretty elaborate systems of language that we can articulate a whole lot. But as someone who is only an English speaker, I have a limited ability to even communicate about language. I know someone who has been studying Quechua, which is a Peruvian language, and some of the words they have, in the nature of translating them, it shares philosophies about community and connection. So language is powerful. Chris says, I was a little drunk last night. I was here. Here I am again. Hello, Chris. Chris is also grateful for the hero's journey. Hello, Dawn. Hugs to you in Utah. Anyone else want to share a little bit of gratitude before we head out into our days? And I'm grateful that I've got a choir practice and potluck today. Gonna go drive to Evo, this beautiful community property, and the San Diego Wholehearted Chorus is gonna have a practice and then a potluck, which I got to do in Monterey last weekend. So I'm like a legit choir participant. I've been even listening to my practice tracks. I should tell you, if you're in San Diego, I'll show you when the concert is if you want to hear our choir. Hopefully I can do it quickly. It's in October 14th in San Diego and October 22nd in Monterey. October 14th and 22nd. And as long as I'm putting dates out there, am I still going to do this? September 7th, I'm doing a men's gathering in San Diego. Global says, English is an evolving language. Could one create new words? It's weird. As I read that, I got like a pang of sadness because like every year, I think it's the Oxford Dictionary or some dictionary, they remove some words and they add some words. And the words that they add are usually things like pager, blog, tech words. And the words that they remove are often like words about nature that people don't use much anymore. Good morning, Gerbot. Gerbot says, I'm grateful to be with my dad as he recovers from his head injury and grateful for a job that gives me the time to be here with him. So awesome to hear that you guys are together. And I'm grateful that I got to see your face in gratitude. Was that yesterday? Yeah. So wishing you and your dad lots of love and quick healing. Global says, choir practice is uplifting. Seriously, a friend and his wife who are in choir and were long time very active in their church and are no longer in their church. But as they left choir this week, he turned to his wife and goes, did you ever feel this good leaving church? She said, no. See, anything in my, I think those are the big things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I've got a trip planned next week to Oregon and gonna get to be in some beautiful nature and a beautiful creek. And I'm grateful for the nature around our home, the eucalyptus. We heard an owl that was going off for a while last night, right off in the canyon. And really grateful for my parents. We went to dinner last night, as I mentioned, to celebrate Caleb's birthday, and I feel like my relationship with them is just getting closer and closer, and the expressions of love just feel so sincere and deep. And I'm very aware that it's a limited window when they are this bright and capable and present and alive. And I'm so grateful that I've chosen to live close enough that I get to see them a lot, and we get to have so many beautiful quality times. Gerbot says, thank you. Grateful for the Hug Nation Zoom room and regular gratitude practice. You know, I'm going to share one more thing on that, which is, actually, I'm going to share one more thing. It's going to take me just a second to share it, though. Maybe not. Anyone else have a gratitude? High Noon saying, 1000% Gerbot, and grateful for the recovery of your dad. Global says, I'm grateful I told my stepmom. Where did that go? I was so happy she loved my dad. Oh, what a nice thing for her to hear. Okay, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Really? All right. I promise I understand if you've got to go. Wait, what? Oh, no. I know it's wrong. There we go. Okay. I'm not sure why this is working. Oh, now I know. Okay. Sorry for this delay. And if you got to go off into your day, I completely understand, because I would be annoyed by me too. I just had a thought that I wanted to get down as best I could. Okay. I'm gonna try it again. It's a gratitude thought, and honestly, if I'm being honest, I want to record it so I can pay attention to myself. Is that obnoxious? Kinda. Let's try this. Boy, oh boy. And is that gonna work? Gosh darn it. All right, I hope you're putting gratitudes in the chat so I can read them when this gets fixed. And finally, I got it done. Okay, well. Okay. Did I get back to the digital Aikido I postponed yesterday? A little bit, and I also I saw that there some people came to my aid, and there were some people that defended me in these threads. It's also, like the Instagram post has like 5,000 comments, and it's hard to track things down. Like there are people responding to other comments, and I'm like, I can't find the original comment that they're responding to. Okay. Okay, so Gerbalt was talking about a regular gratitude practice. And I don't have a dedicated meditation practice. I am not a dedicated scholar of any spiritual texts. I cannot run a course on Alan Watts or Ram Dass or any of the people that have influenced me. I don't study them with the degree that some people do. I haven't devoured the Stoics enough that I could teach them. And so there are times when I feel like I am not as worthy, or I have not invested as much into a spiritual path as people who are dedicated to these different schools and traditions. But I am dedicated about gratitude. And I believe, if I think about it, I think it's just as important and it's just as powerful. Is the object of a spiritual path to find peace and contentment and open your heart and be of service? To find connection to something larger than you? Gratitude does all those things. So I feel like I had this story that a gratitude practice is like minor league baseball, whereas Buddhism is the major leagues. And I'm changing my views on that. That a serious, dedicated gratitude practice, especially one done in community like we do, is legit and is something that I should not diminish or apologize for or aw shucks. It is powerful. It is life-changing. It is world-changing. I am so grateful for gratitude. Global says gratefulness, a constant, nature, abundance on the whole planet. Nature is air, water, fire, and flow all around us. Gerbalt says gratitude is your superpower. I think, especially when you consider how so much of the information of the world, our awareness of what is happening in the world, is presented to us through corporate structures. The tech, the media, all of these things are these corporate structures that are presenting us information. So they, by design, are intended to maximize profits. So the reality that we are presented is overwhelmingly things that incite us, that upset us, worry us, stress us. Which isn't to say that that isn't true. It's just the filter and the degree at which they focus on what is wrong is overwhelming. And it can feel decadent or irresponsible to say, gosh, with all that's going on in the world, with all the suffering, I am going to focus on what's awesome about my life. I'm going to focus on what's great. I think there's a part of us that feels like, oh, nice privilege. Check your privilege, man. But if you consider that we're presented a reality of everything, there's so much wrong that somebody has to balance it out. It has to be us. We have to be the ones like, okay, yes, there's a lot wrong. And there's miracles everywhere. And the only way to be fully present and effective and alive and without being tainted and skewed in the direction of anger, frustration, despair, paralysis, is if we, through our practices and our communities, lift up the good to counteract and balance all that is bad. And maybe good and bad are the wrong words. Light and dark, suffering and joy. It's all part of being a human. It's all part of this planet. And the information we receive is biased. So we have to tweak our lenses so that we do not just passively accept, oh yeah, people suck. Oh my gosh, the world is filled with cheats and liars and deceit and injustice and suffering. It's also filled with laughter and yummy food and love and triumphs and achievements and celebration and nature and music. So a gratitude practice, until we have a philosopher king that is dedicated to helping us recognize the yin-yang balance of this existence, we gotta lift the light. So thank you for helping with that critical part of making this human journey so worthwhile. I love you. Gearbot says, this is big league right here, right now. Amen. Heine saying, it is so powerful, and I really see it as powerful as the meditation I do each day. This community is helping me heal. I love you all. I feel that way too. Gearbot says, there will always be things wrong beyond our immediate sphere of influence. I'm grateful for this daily reminder to notice the good things in our life, because then we create a more positive reality for ourselves. Amen. Yeah. Yeah. Like, and don't worry, this isn't bypassing. This isn't pretending there's nothing wrong in the world. You'd have to get pretty far away from civilization to forget that there are things wrong. This is not about bypass, it's about balance. Well, thanks for the patience, wherever you are. Let's give ourselves a big old hug, big old squeeze of gratitude for this body, for all the joy, all the struggle, for the conscious experience of being alive and connected to other humans and learning and stumbling and rising and dancing and crying. Thanks for being a part of it with me. Let's take a deep breath in and squeeze one another. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us. Thanks for being here. Happy Hug Nation. Thanks for being a love ambassador. Let's go spread this energy into the world. Love you guys.